Good morning, everyone. It is Social Surge with Hector and Mo.
And?
Yeah, well, hold on. I'm not done yet. Don't rush me. I was sleeping like an hour ago, so, okay.
Cat naps are good.
I'm Mo Regalado. Over there on the other side is my ride or die, or if you're in Instagram, he's down below. My boo, what the heck, Hector Regalado. And in the middle is our good friend, Miss Kristina Rodriguez, aka K-Rod. And we made this music just for you.
I absolutely love it. I was like, oh shit, it just said my name. What?
There you go. Freaking love it. Yeah, no, you said you wanted Blondie music, so we Hector made Blondie music for you. He'll send you the song after the show's over with. So today on Social Surge, we are talking about systems, how to structure create speed, systems marketing and leadership in commercial real estate. And K-Rod is the systems queen, right? She's the processes queen. Good morning, Holly Pennington. Thank you for joining us over on the gram. And, you know, Kristina and I talk a lot about the reason why marketing needs systems and processes in place. But before we get into all of that, I want Kristina to go ahead and introduce herself to the audience.
My name is Kristina Rodriguez, as Mo said, K-Rod. That is kind of my industry nickname that everybody goes to. I'm the VP of Business Operations at SRS Real Estate Partners. I focus on the industrial platform. I've been there since July of 2022. I've worked at Colliers, I've worked at Cushman, and so I have over 2 decades of experience in the business.
How did you get into commercial real estate? Like, of all industries?
Happenstance.
Okay.
Yeah. So after I got out of the military, I went to college and I was working at a gas pump at a convenience store, trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And I had a family friend, she drove up and she was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm cleaning gas pumps and going to school, like trying to figure out my life." And she says, "I have a friend that I need to introduce you to." And I started as a leasing agent, part-time leasing agent at a property management company, Trammell Crow. And so I started there, and then Baton Rouge, Louisiana, which is where I was raised. And then I was wanted to move up. And so then I applied for a training job in Dallas. And so I moved to Dallas with my kids. And 2 weeks after I showed up to Dallas, the company sold. So, which was hard for someone who I know, right? I'm like, what is happening right now? And then I rolled over into like an EA role. And then from there, she decided to take a hiatus, and then she launched me into commercial real estate. So, a little bit, half of my experience is in multifamily property management, and the other half has been in commercial real estate. So
that's
it's been a whirlwind.
I was going to say, yeah. So you got out of the military, and I know we've talked about this on some of your social media, but what did you do? What branch were you in? What was your MOS? What was it?
All the things. So I was in the Army. I was active. As we know, our first job is being a soldier. So that was priority number one. My MOS was 95 Bravo, which is military police. And I want to say they've changed the MOS. So it's funny when we go to places, my husband and I go to places and we talk about military and veterans and stuff like that. When you say 95 Bravo, they're like, "Oh, you're old school." And so because things change, right? So the MOS has changed, numbers have changed. And so I was military police, knocked some heads around. Hector can attest to this. It was a good experience and a not a good experience. People ask me all the time, would I do it again? Even though my experience is not the best. And I said, absolutely. Because there are things that I learned in the military that I couldn't get anywhere else. And so I wouldn't change it in the world.
Yeah, military is definitely a different type of situation where you just you're thrown into situations all the time, right? It's
all the time.
Talk about life experience. You gain it in such a short amount of time, right?
Right. Yes.
Right. I was in the Navy, so completely different, a little different in optics there, but for me, it was more of the educational side of it. I was an electrician, and so my electrical training, what normally would take 2-3 years, is condensed into like 6 months.
Right.
And then you're thrown out, right? And you're expected to know all of the stuff, and you're
all the things.
Like, you got to go work on this. I've never even seen that piece of equipment. What am I supposed to do with it? Work on it, fix it, make it work again. Okay. Let's go.
Right. You figure shit out, right? It's like they give you the knowledge, they give you the tools, and then you're like, figure it out, get it done.
Yeah.
We don't care how you get it done, get it done.
And I think that's a kind of I don't want to say that's a generational call for all of us though, because like obviously I wasn't in the military, but it's that, figure the shit out, figure it out, get it. And so you're just like, okay, you gave me a spoon and a spatula. All right, I'll figure it out. I'll get it done. Because there's no other resource or recourse of action to depend on somebody to come and do it for you. You're just like, all right, a spoon and a spatula, let's go. And so we get it done. And I think that's what makes us good as entrepreneurs. It makes us good as managers and leaders in helping other people figure it out as well. But then there's also, I saw a video not too long ago that really resonated with me, and it was a woman speaking about how you go through stuff, and sometimes when you go through those situations, you look at the next generation coming up and you're like, okay, figure it out. Like, there's no whining, there's no time to sit here and wait for somebody to do it for you. Go figure it out, get it done. And it's just like, oh yeah, this video is talking to me.
All right. Those experiences are amazing.
Yeah, sorry, baby.
No, I'm just saying those experiences are so amazing because it took you, once you got out, into a situation, right, where did you know anything about leasing?
Nothing.
Figure it out.
Right?
Figure it out. She saw my background, and of course it's connections, right? As we know, this business is relationship based. And this was one of those relationships where she fucking pulled up, you know what I'm saying, in her Mercedes and was like, what are you doing? And introduced me. Her name is Dee Cheney, and she's passed since now, but she was the catalyst for everything. So yeah, and it helps with critical thinking, right? Like, you think yourself out of a paper bag. It's not that complicated.
There's some people.
Assess the situation, figure out what you do, and just do it.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the reasons why my kids kind of don't like me sometimes, because I'm like, think yourself out of that paper bag.
Yes, 100%. We've had some serious conversations with our kids too. Like, okay, well, go figure. Like, this actually, that needs to be the theme of this show, right? Go figure it out. Like, there's certain things that I think about stuff that I did at 18. And there was no question. You just went and did it, right? Like, if you had to schedule a doctor's appointment or you had to get insurance. And I think it's a little weird because my dad was Army. So
okay,
I was used to, like, you have to have your ID card. You have to, if you're going to be scheduling appointments or anything like that, that's one of the things you have to have. And then to have to kind of like walk my kids through the process of making a doctor's appointment, like, just call them up on the damn phone, right?
Just
like,
make a call.
The numbers.
Yeah, and then Hector and I will look at each other and we're like, were we? No offense to my children if my children are watching, but were we this dumb?
Right? Did we? Yeah, did I not know how to use an insurance card? You know, I mean, answer all those questions that you have to ask, that they ask. I'm like, I don't know. My kids are calling me, have I had surgeries? And I'm like, no, you haven't, you know.
You're like,
But
no.
that also leads into, you know, what we're talking about is figuring it out and then being able to put it in writing or being able to show someone like your children, hey, this is the process and this is how it works. And then that can be passed on to other people. And that makes it easier or more accessible to get things done.
Right. There's when we talk about scaling business, part of the issue when you're an entrepreneur is that if it's basically like a solopreneurship, everything that you have is here. It's all up in your head, and you know everything. And I'm not saying in like the omniscient, I know everything. I'm talking about like, I know all the systems, I know all the processes, I know how everything works. But when you're trying to scale, you need to get all that information out. And I fought Hector so hard on, not like, no, never. I fought him so hard on just sitting down and recording and documenting what I do. Because I just didn't want to take that step, which seems ridiculous, right? You say you want to scale and then you don't do the steps to actually get there. And so finally sitting down and doing it, and narrating the whole process. So like when we edit videos or we create copy or any of that stuff, we have a library of videos that I'm literally walking you through the process, my process and how I get all that stuff done. And so if we bring on a new team member, like we bring on a new video editor, they have to watch those videos of me, you know, walking them through. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I do. This, you know, because I want to have a consistent product in the entire process.
Every time.
And
no matter who's at the seat.
Correct.
Absolutely.
And then we took those transcripts and we turned them into SOPs. So if you have a question, it's in the SOP. Follow the SOP. And when we bring on a new video editor, they have to follow that SOP at least for the first 30 days. And then finally it's like, okay, let's see what you can do. Now that we know that you can listen and that you can follow the rules, now we can take the training wheels off and you can go do it, you know, what you want at this point.
It affords the ability for feedback, right? If you've been doing something for so long, to get new eyes on it, does it make sense? And the fact that you guys actually video yourself doing it is great, because what I've done is I have it in my head and I start writing it down. But there's these nuances and these little things that you do that you don't realize other people don't know. And you don't know it should be in the SOP. And so the fact that you actually videoed it gives that more granular look into your process, as opposed to just writing down what you do. So I've had the opportunity to write SOPs down and then give them to new team members coming on board and say, hey, follow this, work through it. If something's not clear, or if you're like, well, how did I get from A to C? Where's B? Let me know so we can update it, tweak it for the next person that comes on board.
Right. Because you need to have that. It is important to have that feedback. And part of the challenge for me, like I said, was just getting it out of my head onto paper. Like if I couldn't sit down and write down everything that I do. I had to actually take a project from start to finish. And some of these videos were like 45 minutes long, right? Because I'm narrating the entire process. Right. I'm like, then you take this and you grab it and you drop it and you click it, right? Like, I mean, literally the entire freaking process. But it gives so much clarity and allows me to know that any team member that we bring on is actually going to be able to follow this. It makes sense. It's in order. And it's exactly how I would want it to be, which is the most, let's be honest, that's the most important thing.
Most important.
Okay, let's shift gears real quick, and then we'll get back to systems and processes. I really want to bring up CREI Summit. You and I will both be, actually all three of us will be there in Savannah, Georgia, September 23rd through the 25th. You can find out more information about CREI Summit at creisummit.com. But Miss Kristina Rodriguez is you're the head committee person for the sponsorships, right?
Yeah, I'm the sponsorship chair.
Okay, so tell us about the sponsorships for CREI Summit and what you've been doing with that.
So this is my second year doing the sponsorship share. The first year was a learning curve because what I realized is there was no processes that was given to me. So it was, when do we start the calls? Like, when does it all start? And when someone gets to a certain point in the conversation, who does the proposal? Who does the contract? Who does the invoice? You know, who schedules the 2-week pre-meeting? How does that work? Do we have a specific agenda? So all of these things have been happening. So like I said, this is my second year. So I've kind of been making my own notes to create a process for when I back away from this role, that someone else has a guide to walk through and to get it done. But I've enjoyed the sponsorship committee. I've met a lot of people in the industry and in industry organizations that I would have never met before. I realized Ken Ashley has a depth and breadth of relationships that's absolutely insane. And there's another thing I just want to say is the caveat: how he tells the story of CREI Summit and how it came about and everything behind the scenes. Like, he's so passionate about it. It's like, who doesn't want to come to CREI Summit? Who doesn't want to be a sponsor? Because it's a community. It's not transactional, right? And that's what I've learned over the last 2 years. It's relationships. It's people
Yes.
are like, hey, I want to help you. You know what I'm saying? And you help us. And there's no anybody trying to get over on anybody else. We're all coming together because we all want to elevate each other and be successful. So
Marcy Moneypenny's in the house. Good morning.
I'm Miss Moneypenny.
Marcy she works with me on the marketing team. So she's been doing a lot of blog posts, and she's working with Deb Hazel currently to help us get some emails out. And so, yeah, we've got this huge community with CREI Summit. Yes. And I think you and I actually met for the very first time in Orlando.
Yes.
That was the hotel with the heated toilet seats.
I love those.
Right?
I love them.
You always bring up the heated toilet seats.
I do, because
they were amazing. They were amazing. I was like, this is real. Like, literally, you sat down and it had a whole screen of buttons. And I was like, what? I don't know how long I sat on the toilet playing with buttons. I don't even know.
The toilet, I know. The heat, gotta be honest, I was so disappointed when we went to Atlanta and we didn't have heated toilet seats.
Like, where's my heated toilet seat?
Well, because it's the same group that we that had the Orlando hotel. So we were all kind of like, ooh. So ridiculous. But I love the hotel in Orlando. That place was freaking amazing. There were so many great places where you could create content, and you could it just was the coolest freaking hotel.
Wasn't it the start of like a bigger community that they were building in that area? For some reason, I thought that's what it was. Like, it was eventually, like, stuff was going to be built all around it.
It might have been. I know the one in Atlanta was more of a revitalization, I think is the best word for that district. But, we always have great places and locations to go. So Orlando, it was Orlando, and then it was it Atlanta?
Atlanta.
And then Palm Desert. And now we're going to be back in Savannah. So, wow, 4. It's 4 now. Holy Hannah. 4. Okay.
Because I didn't go to the first one.
I didn't go to New Orleans, or I didn't go to Tahoe, and I didn't go to New Orleans.
Oh, see, I went to New Orleans. But I didn't go to Tahoe.
Who's
not going to go to New Orleans? First of all, I was raised in Baton Rouge, and second, I'm like, who wouldn't want to go to New Orleans? Like,
how did you find out about CREI Summit the first time?
How did I find out about it? Oh my gosh. I think it was through Her name escapes me. She works for Foundry Commercial. She was at Cushman.
We'll have to come back to it.
We'll have to come back to it.
Okay.
But anyway, I found, what is her? Oh my God, I feel so bad that I forgot her name. It escapes me. But that's how I found out about it.
Okay.
And then when I, this is how I found out about it. So when I was working at Collier's, the broker I was working with, he got on the list, one of the lists. And I was like, I want to get on that list. How do I get on that list? I want to get on that list. And then I did research and I found out about CREI. And then Casey Flannery. Boom.
Oh, there we
boom,
go. Yes.
There we go. And then I followed her, and she was a big part of that during the first couple of seasons.
Robin got it. Woo.
Yeah, Casey Flannery. Yep. Thank you, Robin. And so that's how I went to the first one. I missed the Lake Tahoe one because I was like, because I think it was like right after COVID and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I'm just not going to go. But I picked up on the second one. So that's how it all came about.
Yeah, I can't remember why I had signed. I know I signed up for CREI Summit for 23. I signed up in like March. And so I knew I was going. And then Bob and Rod were also going. They also got invited to go. So then it was like, okay, definitely going, because that's two of my clients going to be there.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah. And so it was just a great experience. And what I love about our community is we are a community. We actually are a community. And
yes.
Now as this will be the 6th year. Now there's a lot more information about deals coming about people connecting, and like Aviva, I think it's Aviva and Brandon Weiss had a deal that they did.
Wasn't that in Colorado, Denver?
I think it was in, yeah. I don't remember where that deal was. We have Dre Campbell and Casey Flannery, I believe, have done a deal. Dre Campbell and Michael Arnold have done stuff. Yep. So Dre's in Idaho, Casey's in Florida, or where is she out of? Forget where she's out of.
Robin would know. I'm just kidding.
Robin, where's Casey out of? And then Michael's out of California. So we have people in the community that are making connections with one another, and they're doing deals. I'm sure if we were to ask Joe Killinger, who's also on the marketing, he's part of the marketing committee. He's probably knows of people who have made connections and deals together. Right. And you get to know these people in this atmosphere. It's rather, it's not like super intimate, but you have about 150 to 175 people all getting together, and we're all talking about social. We're all talking about digital marketing and how to increase our market presence and brand awareness. And then, one of the questions that I get asked is like, okay, well, why would I want to be on this list? And what I find interesting about being a list maker, is the what?
She's in Memphis.
Oh, she's in Memphis. Okay. It is the fact that with agentic search happening right now, any lists that you should, so you were on the Globe Street Women of Globe Street. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Women of Influence. You were on that list. You've been on the CREI Summit list. I'm sure you've made lists other places. Agentic search is actually pulling that information and giving you an additional, like, ooh, they're an authority figure. Ooh, they're an expert in this area. And so if you can make lists, if you can get on lists, you want to be on those lists. It's not just it's just a popularity contest. No, it's not. Think about the fact that your brand is now being recognized by
as a subject matter expert. Right.
Exactly. 100%. And so, like, don't kind of poo-poo any list. Put in for it. All of the lists. All the lists.
Things. Yes.
Did you put up this thing from Robin? We started working with Quiet Valor from the event. Best thing we've done. Oh, I love that, Robin. So Quiet Valor is Sarah Malcolm's company. She is fabulous.
She is.
The video that she did with Kristina,
love
myself, Fly, Ken,
Jamie.
who else was in there? Jamie was in there.
Amy.
Amy was in there, and then of course Sarah. It was just fabulous. It was fabulous. Loved it. If you haven't seen it, go to Sarah Malcolm's Instagram. I believe, did she put it on LinkedIn?
She did.
She put it on LinkedIn. It's just incredible. Quiet Valor, fabulous, fabulous company. Okay, so.
Well, she also did videos before her, before she went to Globe Street.
Yes, she did.
She did that, and I thought those were really cool. I was like, look at you. Okay.
Well, and that's the fun of it, though. Like how, you could probably call up Sarah and be like, how did you make those videos? And she'd probably walk you through the process step by step and be like, well, I use this app, and then I use this app, and then I use this one. And then, I would like to have a little caveat there and say that those videos are not
not easy.
Not that they're not. I don't want to put that out there. They're somewhat time consuming because you have to make sure that you are getting the right prompt done and that it's turning out. And you are generally, you're not getting everything all together. You're getting like 6 or 7 second clips.
Right.
Yes.
And then you have to put the whole thing together, and then you've got to get the music. And so it's just knowing how the process works. It's, even though it looks super easy, is not that easy. So Marcy Moneypenny says she elevates everything she does 100%. Kristina, let's talk about what you do for SRS.
Yes.
What do I do for SRS?
What don't you do? How about that?
It's kind of like 3 buckets. So every day when I come in, I look at what we did yesterday, celebrate the successes that happened, understand the bottlenecks and find solutions. And then when it comes to what's happening in the moment, it's understanding today what the need is, making sure that the team has the resources and the capabilities to perform their responsibilities, and then anticipate the needs of the brokers in the future. And what does that look like? And what are their needs are going to be, and be able to strategize with other department leaders on how to get them there. So in a nutshell, that's what I do. But as we all know, there's a lot more to that. But that's what I do. And we just had a new CSA start last week. And so a part of my role is onboarding them and training them on our platform. And as we talked about, it's a marketing package is a marketing package. You kind of have the same information. It's the same across the board in any firm. But what the training is how SRS does it, what our branding is, what our message is, and our processes on the back end to get that deliverable out.
And so you specialize in those processes. How do you determine when something becomes a process?
I think everything has a process. And maybe that's just the way my mind works. And maybe that's the military. It's like, if you're doing the simplest of things, there's still a process. There's still an ABC. There's still a beginning and an ending, and there's stuff in between to get it done. It just depends on how detailed that process is. So for example, I'll just use something simple: announcements, internal announcements, PR releases. What is that process and what does it look like? To some people, it's simple. Oh, someone gets hired, you get their headshot, you get their bio, you put it together, and you throw it out there. But there's more to it than that. Like we've discussed, it's, timing. How much time ahead do you reach out to someone? What approvals do you need? Who needs to all touch it? What information is for an internal communication as opposed to a PR communication? And what kind of meat do you need in the PR communication? And then that leads to a social post. And so everything hinges on everything else. So I think anything can be a process.
I actually, you made a great point, because as you were talking and the little hamster wheel in my head was going, I was like, she's right. Everything is a process, because even the simplest thing has steps, right? It has an, ABC. So that's true. Everything does have a process. How do you respond when someone says, can't you just, girl, I'm going to trigger her.
I need to take a moment. Just there is no just. Can you just change this data point? Can you just update the pricing? Can you just update the acreage? Yes. The answer is yes. The answer is always yes. But it isn't just, because that data point or that thing that needs to be updated or changed touches more than one thing. And
Right.
that's one of the things that is really important when you're working across departments and working across other people, is seeing where other people are through the lens that they're working through. So for a broker, he's like, hey, I just need this acreage changed on the flyer. Absolutely not a problem. Okay, I need to change it on the flyer. I need to change it on the listing platform. I need to change it in our CRM. Wherever that data point is touching, I need to change it. Because if I change it in the marketing piece, the marketing piece is not connected to CoStar. It's not connected to Crexy. It's not connected to our SRS domain in our site. So there's more than just one place where we have to change that data point. And for the broker's perspective, it's understanding that. And from the marketing perspective, to be like, okay, hey, that's not a problem. And if someone asks for a deadline or say, I need this done ASAP, we get that a lot. I need this done ASAP, ASAP, ASAP. Totally understand. I'll work through it and I can get it done by XYZ. Does that work for you? So it's all about communication too. But yeah, that word just irks me to the bone.
I'm gonna get you a t-shirt that says, can you just?
Can you just?
So Marcy Moneypenny has a great question. She says, what are you finding the firms brokers are asking for in training, or are they leaving that to others?
We have a lot of brokers, and this kind of flips back, Marcy, to the CREI Summit. We're having a lot of brokers ask us how other brokers are using AI in their business. And I can only give them what I know from an operations perspective and what I see, but giving them the opportunity to talk to other brokers and how they're using AI in their CRMs and connecting client requirements to listings that are active and being able to match those needs. That's what they're asking. Now, when it comes to deliverables and marketing packages, they're not asking how that's done. They just want it to get done, and they want it to get done as quickly as possible.
Right. Russell says it's not connected. It's not connected to your email blast either.
Correct, Russell. It's not. So you have to change it everywhere.
Right. So,
and thank you for recognizing that, Russell. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think what a lot of people don't, on a daily basis, and they're not thinking about it when they say, "Can we just change this?" Each department really is isolated in what they're doing because they have a mission, right? They have something that they have to do, whether it's the marketing side or whether it's the broker, or they're all focused on that one thing that they're working on, right? And they're not thinking about the other departments, the other people that also need to have that same information coming to them. And so when they do want change, but don't communicate it, right? If the process isn't set up properly, there's always going to be a break. There's always going to be a disconnect. And when you're running an organization, whether small or large, it doesn't matter. You're trying to put out a consistent product, and that product could be the brand image. It could be a listing. It could be whatever, right? There's a product that's being produced that other people have their hands in that same cookie jar. And if you don't tell the guy next to you, hey, by the way, we're adjusting this, or we're not going to do it this time, it breaks the chain.
Right. You're absolutely right.
Not like you know anything about that, right, Hector?
Ooh, me? I don't break anything.
No, I'm talking about me.
I know.
No, I mean, I think that's, it's one of the reasons why Hector and I work so well together is the fact that his strength is in creating processes and systems, and being an operations manager, really, and making sure that the little hamster wheel in my head continues to go and I can focus on what I need to focus on. I know that when we decided to scale, I was like, you were in upper management. So for those of you listening, Hector is retired law enforcement. He was in upper management and law enforcement. And so he had his own shop and his own office, and he ran his shop. And so it's like, I need you to do that for me. I am the shop. I need you to run me so that I'm not, because the ADHD is strong in this one. And so, trying to get everything done and trying to manage everything, you can't do it all alone. And I think that's one of the biggest things that a lot of people fail to recognize. One, you shouldn't be doing it all alone, right? So how do marketing and operations develop a good relationship?
Oh, is that a question?
Yeah, that is you. Yeah.
I don't know. How do y'all make it work?
I yell at him and then he looks at me.
For me, I have national meetings with the national platform team. We have them once a week on Monday. And then I have one-on-ones with the local support that we have across the nation. And I take that time and opportunity to go, hey, what's working, what's not? Where are the pain points? Where can we improve? Where can we be better? And if that touches another department, or if I need to include another department, then that's when I go to those department leads and say, hey, this is the feedback I'm getting from my team. Is there a solution? Can we strategize something? Is there a way we can make this better? And then they go back to their team, talk about it, and then we come back together. And at that point, this is what we can do. These are our bottlenecks that we're seeing, and how we can work together to resolve that. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer than what we would like. Some people want instantaneous results. It's that instant gratification that this generation has. The benefit about SRS is we are a flat organization. And so it's really open door policy. Like I can walk over to Chris McGuire's office, who's our CEO, and be like, hey, talk to him, tell him what my ideas are, or anything like that. I can go to the president, Garrett, and ask him the same questions. So we are a flat organization, which makes it really great. But it also means we run lean. So we have an IT tech department, right? That consists of 3 guys for the whole company. They run efficient, they run lean. But when we ask them for something or they have to go and research something, it takes a minute. It takes a beat.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
It's something that can't be turned around in 24 hours.
Right.
And to have that grace and compassion and understanding of all the departments and what they do and how they're working and what their focus is, that's really big.
Yeah, that is huge. Being able
I think that was a very long answer to your question.
No, it's the perfect answer though, because you said something super important. You have to have grace and compassion, knowing the size of the organization. And if you are running lean, you're going to have to wait in line to get some of that stuff done. That's
right.
What's the priority? Is something supposed to take priority over something else? Can that be pushed down? Can we wait on that? And I do think there is a challenge sometimes with I don't want to say it's a selfish me idea or attitude, but it's really more of, when you talk about in sales, people are not thinking about you, they're thinking about themselves.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
All the
So
time.
Absolutely.
So they're always
it's because they kill what they eat.
Yep.
Or they eat what they kill, right? And
Yes.
they eat what they kill. Yeah. And that's something that was said to me a long time ago at Cushman & Wakefield when I was working with a broker. He goes, I don't eat unless I kill something. And I was like, that's kind of aggressive, but I get it. I get it.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
And
So they're under a completely different stress and pressure. And our role as marketing, research, operations is to have them go out and grow their business, win business. And how can we make that easier for you? And that's by making processes on our end to be able to turn shit around in a timely manner.
Right. Marcy says marketing and operations sitting in on monthly brokerage meetings can provide a heads up on upcoming deals and associated needs. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, right now our local support staff sits in those local meetings. And then what their role is to bring it up to our national platform on anything that's going on. So absolutely.
Hey, Ben, good to have you here. We were talking with K-Rod about systems and processes. And we're actually coming up on time. I feel like we didn't get through everything. But last but not least, how do you get people to buy into a system? How do you get them to buy into a process, especially if they've been doing it on their own for so long?
Because they've been using a spreadsheet for the last 50 years.
Yes.
It's incremental. That's one thing. It's very incremental, and it's some of it is hand holding. Like, hey, let me show you how we can make this more efficient. So we've got probably, and this is a low rate, but we probably have 20% adoption of our workflow right now of people actually putting in information on the front end. And we have a lot more adoption on the back end where we give a deliverable in a PDF format to get comments and feedbacks on that PDF in that system to keep everything housed in one location. So we have more adoption on the back end because the brokers are like, oh, this is really cool. So we're hoping because they find that part cool, that they'll find the front part even cooler eventually.
Yeah.
So it's baby steps, and it's them saying, well, why isn't this working, or why is this holding us up, and explaining that bottleneck to them and letting them know what that solution is. And we are more than happy to show you how to use it and show you how it works, and just be supportive in that part.
Yeah, I think people support processes that they understand and that
Absolutely.
they can trust. And once they understand the process and they can trust that the process is going to work for them, they adopt it. And then they're like, oh, why wasn't I doing this before? And you're sitting there like, yeah, why weren't you doing it before? But then you just smile and you're like, yes, it's fabulous.
You're like,
right?
you know what? That's a great idea. I'm so glad you thought of that.
Russell says, how do I convince our older brokers to use a CRM? Whew.
Ooh.
That's been a challenge. Like I said, we have a lot of people that still use their spreadsheets. I think for that, we have gotten the junior brokers or the associates to come in and help fill that gap. And what I am seeing is a lot of older brokers or more seasoned brokers in the business are starting to think about their legacy and how they're going to continue that business that they've built. And so they're starting to bring on those associates to help them with their current brokerage business, and then bringing their young eyes into, hey, how can I better do my system?
Yeah, a lot of it has. I think a lot of it has to do is you do need to show them the benefit of it, right? Legacy is one of those things. If you're able to show them that using a CRM, one, it takes that out of the mind, right? You're not using the Rolodex anymore or spreadsheet. You're moving to a system that will allow you to continue to grow without having to keep those things in your mind all the time, trying to remember little things here and there. It's just a little bit of a mind shift, but showing them the benefit of it. What is it going to benefit them versus this is what the brokerage is doing. Go do it. Putting it that way, like from the military side of it, if somebody came up to you and told you, go do this, a lot of the times you're sitting there like, but why? What's the purpose? And if you can explain to them what the purpose is, they're more willing to do it versus fighting you every step of the way just to go do that one little thing.
Wait, you mean you were allowed to ask why in the Navy? Because in the Army, we were not.
He wasn't allowed to ask why. He just asked why. Believe me.
I asked why, and they were like, "Whoa, sit down." Like
he's got a story of he's on the ship and they wanted him to go fix a light while it was like storming, and he was like, "No, I'm not. Are you gonna climb out there?"
Yeah. No, yeah. The CO. We were off the coast of San Francisco. It was really stormy, and off the coast of San Francisco, it's really rocky, and so the waves come in and they hit hard. So it's really turbulent, and they're like, yeah, we need you to go out there and do a repair. And it was in the middle of the night. They came and got me in the middle of the night. And I looked at the CO and I was like, excuse me? He was like, no, we need you to go out there. And just then a wave came up and over the ship. And I said, here's my tool bag. I'm going back to bed. And he was like, he was dumbfounded that I actually, told them no. And my boss, my direct boss, looked at me and he goes, "You can't say that." I said, Are you looking at the same thing I'm looking at? Look, there was a wave that just came up and over where you want me to be. How am I gonna, there's no way that if I go overboard, you're not finding me.
No.
It's done for me. And he was like, okay. And the CEO was like, okay, I understand, but we got to get it fixed. I'm like, well, find somebody else. I don't know what to tell you.
Wait till the morning.
Yeah, right. Wait till it calms down a little bit. So Ben says, only because of CRE did I discover they had Microsoft Excel in the time of the dinosaur.
When that came in, you could see both Kristina and I laugh.
I know.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so before we wrap this up, a couple quick questions. What is one process that every CRE team needs?
New hire process. Absolutely.
A new hire training process?
Yes.
Okay. What's one process that companies overcomplicate?
All of them.
Just let Kristina come in and clean it all up.
Just let me come in and I'll clean it all. Exactly. I think they complicate it by not having one, because there's like gatekeeping and there's no transparency. And I think that overcomplicates things when people don't know what's happening.
Okay. Yeah. That's true. That's true. If people want to get a hold of you, Kristina, because maybe they have questions about a system or process that they need to put together, or maybe they're confused about it, maybe they just need help, how do they get a hold of you?
You can email me at kristina.rodriguez@srsre.com. You can call me on my cell. Call me on my cell phone, 214-901-2957, or text me. And then I have a LinkedIn page and an Instagram page. So Instagram is the Kristina Rodriguez and LinkedIn is Kristina Rodriguez. So
love
and I'm
it.
sure Mo will attach all that to the
somewhere,
good things.
Somewhere in there, she'll have everything. Yes. All right, Kristina, thank you so much for joining us today. This was a fabulous
I appreciate you guys.
Had so much fun. And again, we will see you guys at CREI Summit. That is happening September 23rd through the 25th in Savannah, Georgia. It is going to be a gorgeous location. We are going to have lots of stuff. Kyle and Sarah and I will be hosting a breakout session on agentic search and your Google business profile. And exciting times for me. He knows somebody from Google, and we're going to hook up with that person and talk to them about what really works. So
I love that. Look at you. Look at you go.
I'm excited. I was like, he texted me and he's like, hey, I know somebody from Google that is going to help us out. I was like, yes. It's better. I mean, like all of my stuff is like stuff that I pulled in from, other people and stuff that I've done. So having an actual voice
that's awesome.
Right.
Okay.
Very excited.
All right, everybody. We'll see you back here on Tuesday. And then also next Thursday, Coy Davidson is going to be on The Surge. We'll see you then. Everybody have a great weekend. Bye.